let's talk about SmackDown a little bit before we go. This was February the 10th. It's fresh in our minds. That's why I'm looking at my notes so I can remember what I saw. Did you see Heyman's Al Capone suit?
I think I've seen him wear it before, but yes.
Oh my, it was so bright and beautiful. If he had a carnation in his lapel and a fucking violin case, he'd be Frank fucking Nitty. He's such a heat-getting personality. I'm captivated by Paul's work these days. So Sammy's not here tonight, is what he's telling the people. He's in the ring doing a promo. And the people are not happy about that. And Paul knocks Sammy a bit and then segues to Cody and said, Dusty raised an idiot for a son. It couldn't be more personal, playing on the, you're making it personal line. And the promo that he did made the title match important, and the title match important. They've still got 2 belts. It looks like he needs to work on his cardio to be able to stand there under those 2 belts that long. Though I feel bad for him. I'm sure it's making his back bad. But as Paul's, getting through the whole promo, all of a sudden Sammy in a hoodie slides into the ring behind him and they do the fucking slowly I turn deal. And Paul's great. And they come face to face and Sammy's like, no, I'm not going to hurt you. And, he basically asked questions about the loyalty of the rest of the group and blah, blah, blah. But he hugged Paul and told him to tell Roman he doesn't need to worry about Cody, just worry about him. So they're trying to build the anticipation that Sammy is going to be the one to take the title from Roman at Elimination Chamber before Cody gets to him at WrestleMania. And maybe it was just me, and I'll ask you what you thought in 1 second, but I'm just going to say maybe it was just after seeing Paul and Cody on Raw and that brilliance and that promo that this one just was it was better than everybody else can do, but it wasn't great for these guys. What do you think?
I mean, it wasn't Cody and Paul Heyman, but nothing's going to be. That was a very unique, even if they did something again next week, it wouldn't be the same. It was a very unique segment. I mean, it wasn't that, but I think it was fine. You had to get Sammy in the mix. You had to show that he was there early on if you wanted people to stay around at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, they had to do it. I'm saying the execution of it, or maybe there wasn't a lot of zip. They could have maybe got to the point a little quicker. It wasn't the stand up and fucking give them the standing ovation like Heyman and Sammy and Cody and these people have been getting lately. It was still better than everybody else. And I understood they need to impart the information. Maybe now I'm just being hard on them because they've been so good.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it was a fine opening segment, I think, for SmackDown.
Or maybe it was just the rest of the program put me in such a bad mood.
This was probably the highlight of SmackDown, now that I think about it. I was going to say they returned to things later on, but this was really all you needed to see.
But see, that's the thing. We're going, it's downhill from here or uphill. Or have we ever established whether if it's going to get into the muck and mire, we're going uphill or downhill?
I think we established it, but you've constantly
stubbornly refused.
Yeah.
The next match was Skid Row against Drew and Sheamus. And now, remember, we've been talking about not only have they obviously and blatantly given up on Skid Row, but that Flop Dollar must have gotten some kind of heat to the point where they're making fun of the fact that they're being buried. And the announcers are free to fucking joke about it as well. So they got the already in the ring treatment. They didn't even get the rappers, the musicians didn't get their fucking music entrance. And I've got the Flop Dollar watch on now. I'm not talking about a wristwatch. I'm talking about its Flop Dollar watch. Every time he's in a ring, I have the morbid curiosity. I've got to watch whatever he does because there's never any telling what might happen. But apparently the agents and producers, whoever, have also caught on to what we've caught on to. And he was not allowed in this match. He threw a sucker punch from the apron, while he was still out on the apron and not legal in the match, old Seamus came over and gave him the 10 beats of the Bowery and added about an extra 22 to the point he was squirming trying to get away. So they're fucking with this guy. And then right before the finish, he ran in without a tag to take Drew McIntyre's Claymore kick because the other guy couldn't take both fucking finishes. And during this match, they beat up Adonis like a job guy, and the whole thing lasted 3 minutes. So, I mean, what else can you do to somebody before you tell them, please leave, go away, never come back? What is the fucking deal here?
I don't know. What name do you think he's going to use in Impact or the NWA or MLW, wherever he's going to end up after this?
You know what? Tyrus needs to bring him into the NWA as his little brother.
What's his name going to be, though? I said, what's his name going to be? That's the problem.
Well, how about, instead of 50 Cent, how about 15 Cent? I have nothing.
I like B-Fab. I hope she stays.
Well, I don't know. So then the Vikings got on the screen with a Viking video where they're Vikings. And Drew and Sheamus ended up standing there staring at that. And meanwhile, in the back, Jimmy Uso still can't get Jey Uso on the phone. And it's 30 minutes into the program. That's all we've seen.
I have kind of noticed several segments with bonfires and helmets and these Vikings. And the point is, I have no idea what they've said in any of them. I haven't paid any attention. It just seems more stupid to me.
It's not easy to follow unless you're up on Viking lore.
Does anyone care about the Vikings?
Only Minnesota. Anyway, we're 30 minutes into the program, and now we get Lacey Evans versus Carmen Harris. Now, I am a fan, again, of Lacey Evans, and she may be the best heel worker of all the... She delights in being a bitch and the facials, and she's heel and roughhousing, doing all that dirty wrestling. Carmen Harris, I've never seen heard of before. They put her picture in prison to cure the sex offenders, but she was just there to get Cobra clutched by Lacey Evans. But now that's 3 minutes or whatever it was. Okay, so now they're in the back again. And Jimmy tells Heyman that he can't get a hold of Jay, and Paul tells Jimmy that he was out there in the ring a few minutes ago being held hostage by a Canadian psychopath. Where was the family? Where were you? And he was, I was looking for Jay. Jay's not here, man. So they're building up. Is Jay going to show up and support Jimmy for the tag team title match against Ricochet and Braun Strongman? And they still don't know. And now the time has come for the match. And which, by the way, this was by far the match with the most interest in the whole program. But for storyline reasons, it had to go on. I don't know if it had to go on this early because there's a lot of shit afterwards. But so Jimmy enters the arena alone, and then Jay appears in the arena at the top of the bleachers and comes through the crowd. And I'm thinking, again, I know this is great, but there's a huge babyface pop from the fans for a heel showing up to defend and beat the babyfaces in a tag team title match. So we've got here this way. But 50 minutes, 50 into this program, the bell rings on match number 3 after 2 3-minute squash matches and some talk. So, again, this was, with a couple of bobbles, probably one of the better matches you've ever seen Braun Strongman in, because this is it's the right thing to do with him. Keep him on the apron most of the time because he can't sell. Give him a little buddy partner that is flashy and everybody will like and want to pull for as an underdog. And he makes the big comebacks and shit. And the Usos, they work hard and they've got talent. I think I would take them better visually if they had tights and boots instead of T-shirts, pleather pants, and tennis shoes. but I know that's the gimmick of the young folks these days. They tried to build a big hot tag for Ricochet to Brown, and they still didn't get it, because even though they milked it so the people would understand it, when there was, at the point that the tag was made, there was no way for the heels to prevent the tag, obviously and visually to the people before it happened. Therefore, you didn't get to maximum pop out of it. It was a foregone conclusion before it happened. Brown made the comeback. The Usos took back over. Usos super kicked Brown into Ricochet, that tagged himself back in, hit a press off the top and a couple of moonsaults. They had umpteen kicks and a couple more tags. Finally, Ricochet did the swanton off Brown's shoulders like last week, but slightly less stiff than the last one, which looked like it could have paralyzed Imperium. And Jay pulled Ricochet off the cover. And so Brown went around to do the choo-choo. At least they don't play the choo-choo train noise anymore, thankfully. But
Vince
Jay
plays it when he chases the paralegals around his desk.
Well, yeah, around the desk.
Choo-choo, I'm coming.
Choo-choo. And then he says, open the airplane hangar and let my plane land. And then Jay ducked Brown and he choo-chooed over the desk. And he was out of the way. And then Ricochet had to potato somebody, so he hit a potato shooting star off the top rope on Jimmy. But then he bounced off of Jimmy, and Jay came off the top rope and safely splashed Ricochet. 1, 2, 3, and that was a heck of a looking exchange. Because Ricochet, he hit that poor fucking Uso with that shooting star with full weight, but he bounced beautifully and got into position wonderfully. So that was a pretty good match. What'd you think?
Pretty good match. I mean, the story was about the Usos, and they kind of got past it so you could focus on the match pretty early, and good match. I mean, I'm not the biggest Braun Strowman fan, but I like the way they've used him, at least with Ricochet.
When he's in a tag match, you see less of him actually doing shit. And he does try to work the people. He's got, he's trying to make faces. It's just the problem is the one he's got to begin with doesn't lend itself to any. Well, nevertheless. So then after the break, the Usos were in the back, where Jay now has told Jimmy that he doesn't know whether he's in or out of the bloodline. He's always going to be Jimmy's brother, but he doesn't know if he's in or out of the bloodline. He doesn't know. We found out, you could see just barely, that Heyman is lurking like a fucking combination of Alfred Hitchcock and the Fernwood Flasher behind a pillar in the corner of the building, and he hears that. And then when Jay walks off and Jimmy stand there, then Paul comes up behind Jimmy and says, "Hey, was that your brother?" "Yeah." "Did he say anything?" "No, he didn't say anything. He just left." So now Paul knows. Oh, see the intrigue here. Now we've established at this point that even the most intelligent people like a Paul Heyman in this world of WWE and wrestling in general in modern times will have personal conversations and exchange information about criminal activity and or secretive behavior with a handheld television camera 5 feet in front of their face. But boy, these guys are all doing this stuff well. I'll say that for it. But then, speaking of not doing things well, I love her and her family, but Natalia's in the ring doing a promo about the women's elimination chamber, which I don't really care about. And then Shayna comes out, which I don't really care about. And they argued. And then Rhonda came out. And Rhonda came out with extra dark raccoon eyes. I'm still not sure what that's supposed to be, but basically they beat Natalya up, and Shotzi tried to make a save, but didn't make it. And Rhonda judo through everybody, and the baby faces rolled out to the floor and sold the end. Did I describe that correctly?
Yeah, I wasn't really into that segment.
So back in the parking lot,
they made me not want to see Ronda Rousey anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this point, what the fuck's going on? But back in the parking lot where all the action takes place at the wrestling shows. It used to be true back in the 80s, but nevertheless, Jay and Sammy are back in the parking lot. Sammy's in the hoodie. They're in between the semi-trucks. They can't be seen.
Except by the cameraman who's right
Except by the cameraman 5 feet in front of their face. Broadcasting this to a national television audience. Sammy tells him Roman's not going to let you forget about what you did, the way you stood up for me at the Rumble. You know that. I'm 8 days away from getting rid of Roman, Jay. I don't want you to have to go down with the ship. And Sammy says, I acknowledge you. And they fist bump. And that you can tell that means something to Jay, that he got acknowledged. And then we got Chelsea and Cruella against Raquel and Liv for 3 minutes. So, again, except for the Usos tag match, there's been no serious match on this program.
This whole show is about one storyline. That's it.
Yeah, at least it's the one they care about. But Michael Cole sat down with Charlotte about WrestleMania and Rhea Ripley. On the sit-down interviews, the crowd noise underneath, I think, is distracting because they're trying to be serious and professional and look like they're on 60 Minutes, and the crowd noise. It's not like they're up and yelling like they're on the back. Yeah. Anyway, Charlotte's well-spoken and believable and can't wait to see the match, but nothing happened here. And then the main event was a winner gets an Intercontinental title match next week on television match. Karrion Kross with Scarlett O'Hara against whatever the fuck his name is, Moss, with his girl Emma, versus Pablo Escobar with Zelina, versus Rey Mysterio with the Four Sisters on Thumb Street because he has no woman, he's all by himself.
But no woman, no cry.
No woman, no cry. He's not crying about it. Well, he's only got one eye. Oh, I forgot it grew back. It's a man's world, but it ain't nothing without a woman or a girl. This is a man's world. It's a man's break.
Is that your James Brown?
That's my James Brown.
Jesus.
I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to hurt myself. It's actually a commercials world. Basically, this is the main event. The entrances started at 9:35 Eastern, and the bell rang to start the match at 9:44 Eastern. And then they went 4 minutes in the actual match and did a couple of dives and went to the break. And they came back from the break and they went a little while longer. Scarlett tripped Rey Mysterio and Kross knocked Mysterio out from behind with his cross elbow or whatever. And Pablo Escobar tried to crossbody Kross off over the top rope, but Kross got stuck and Pablo went over the top, but Kross rolled out underneath. And then Moss, who I thought was a babyface and is apparently being presented as one, dropped an elbow off the top rope on Rey Mysterio and beat him 1, 2, 3. So the finish was a babyface beating another babyface that had been attacked from behind and fucked over by the manager and the heel first. So that makes perfect sense. And then we get the main event interview segment is, did you have any comments on that? I wasn't trying to skip ahead of you.
No, actually, after...
Is this where you went to sleep?
No, after Sammy and Jay had their thing in the back where they ran into each other, I decided to leave the room and I never came back in the room. And then, unfortunately, someone erased my DVR recordings of SmackDown, so I didn't get to see the rest of the show. I don't know what the main event was.
That may have been your internet service provider in your walls.
No, I don't think it was that.
They don't want you to see this. Well, nevertheless, you didn't miss much because the main event Bloodline segment was basically a cliffhanger. It lasted about 60 seconds, and it was Paul Heyman in the back with Jimmy Uso. And he's got his phone, and he says, "I'm just on the phone with Roman. I'd put him on with you, but no reception in this room here." He says, this is his instructions. Next week, instead of going to Montreal, he wants an on-television perspective. So we need the Usos to stay home and watch it on TV. And Paul says, because sometimes you see things on TV that you don't see live. And then he walks, and then Jimmy's there going, oh boy, maybe he knows something.
You said next week. Is the pay-per-view next week?
Yes, it is.
Holy shit. Wow, that was fast.
And also,
wow,
I don't think the Usos can go to Canada, can they?
I think you figured out what they're doing, actually. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's right. Well, there you go.
And I mean, boy,
that's how you can defeat Roman Reigns. Get him in another country.
Those Canadians are strict. If the WWE, a $6 billion company, can't get the goddamn hottest story they've had in years all into Canada because of a DUI, those Canadians are sticking to their fucking guns, pal.
Well, it may have been more than one DUI.
Well, any kind of DUI. $6 billion ought to get you. Hey, we'll wrap this motherfucker up in cellophane and fucking carry him by hand to the building and then dump him back across the border when we're done with him. Here's $500,000. But anyway, that was SmackDown is what that was.